Hey, Geekscapists, welcome to a brand new Geekscape podcast. I'm Jonathan London. I sometimes have to tell myself that. Sometimes I wake up with an existential crisis and think, wait, who am I? What am I doing here? Well, once a week, we sit here and do a podcast for you, talking movies, video games, comic books, TV, all that Comic Con goodness. And it helps me get through my existential crisis because I get to once a week sit here and tell you I'm Jonathan London, and this is Geekscape. It helps kind of like recalibrate me. So, welcome to Geekscape. Happy Memorial Day. We're recording this on Memorial Day, and I just want to say, no matter where you think our country's headed, what direction, or maybe you disagree with things that are going on, maybe you love it. We do want to take time today to remember those people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice to get our country where it is. So happy Memorial Day. I hope you're enjoying the holiday, and hopefully Geekscape is a nice little capper to a day spent off of work. Unless you're Derek Cranevelt, our Xbox Game Passengers host in Canada, to which I say, you know what, you're just going to have to wait until July to celebrate your Memorial Day. Well, us here at the States, in the States, we're celebrating right now. I talked to Super Action Man earlier today, and he said, you know what, say hello to the Geekscapists for me. He's at working right now, which is kind of what he does. He just helps protect American interests. Big Yank says, I dig in the hairdo. Well, thank you. I think I'm just not going to wear a hat today. If y'all are watching this live, you're watching over Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And no, I don't have a hat on. So you get yourself the hair. How's it look? It looks okay. Podcast listeners are like, hey, what is this BS? I don't get to see the haircut. Hop on over to YouTube. Subscribe to Geekscape TV on YouTube, and you can watch the haircut all you want. We got a great show today. We're going to be talking about Top Gun Maverick, pretty awesome movie that came out over the weekend. Also, the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi hit Disney Plus, and we've got the first half. Is this the first half? Is this season 4 of Stranger Things, or is this the first part of season 4 of Stranger Things? And then there's maybe a season 5. You got to help me out with this thing because we're getting a lot of Stranger Things between now and July. But the next 7 episodes in the Stranger Things saga hit Netflix. There's a lot to talk about. Luckily, my good friend Daniel Corey is here. Y'all maybe remember him. He did the Moriarty comic book. He's a longtime Geekscape friend, and he's here to help me kind of sift through all the geeky goodness that's happening. Obviously, there is Star Wars Celebration that happened down in Anaheim. Tons of news came out of that. Big Yanks, if you're watching this, please start putting the news in the comments because I need a refresher on everything that went down at Star Wars Celebration. You know what? There's a great way to do this. Let's just start the show, and we'll play catch up as we go. Here we go, Geekscapists. Hey, Geekscapists, welcome back to this brand new Geekscape. This is episode 633. Can you believe it? We've been doing Geekscape for a very long time, but it's always been fun. It's been good hanging out with y'all and kind of catching up on the geek interests. Big Yank says, hey, not only is it Memorial Day, it's also Little Yanks' birthday. Can you believe it? Big Yanks, who has been with Geekscape for 16 years, right? Since the first podcast, Geek Drum, in 2005, 2006. Big Yanks has been a part of the audience, and he has a daughter. We call her Little Yanks because he's the Big Yanks, and it's her birthday. And I think she's going to start writing college essays soon, which is insane to me that we've been together that long. The fans and the Geekscapists. Thank you, Big Yanks, for watching the show and listening to the show for this long. I know there are several of y'all out there who've been with me this whole time. Keep sharing the show. Keep helping out, and Keep sharing the Geekscape goodness. Speaking of Geekscape goodness, somebody who's hung with us for a very long time, even though I kind of just like bring him on the show and I'm foul mouthed and I'm rude, but he's always been there. He's always been a good friend. That's Mr. Dangle Corey.
You're amazing.
You're too talented to put up with the garbage I give you when you come on Geekscape.
You're talented. Cut it out. Cut it out.
You're too talented to do this. You've got a really good. I mean, you're great at writing the comics. We enjoy the Moriarty books. We enjoy everything basically that you do.
Thank you.
Then you started like this photo art project. Mm-hmm. You're also one of the early people who brought virtual reality to comics. Would you say that?
I would say that. Yeah, that I was part of the team that spearheaded that. Yes.
Look how modest he is. You were the spearhead of the team that spearheaded. Can we do that?
Yeah, I didn't program it. I had to ask them to do it, and then they did it. But it was my idea. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. You're a man of ideas. And now I get this email last week. I had a whole new Geekscape planned, and I had to scrap it because I get this email in my inbox that you have a song coming out. I didn't know you had a song. I knew you played guitar.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you were like had a song, like you wrote a song and you're going to put out a song on like Spotify and all the different streaming platforms.
I've written a bunch of them. Yeah. This is the first one. This is the first single. Yeah.
Oh, so it's going to be an album.
Yeah, we're going to, that's the plan. I'm working with Alex Calise and Dennis Morehouse. They're my really good friends. They have a band called Bat Farm, and I've been good friends with them for like 7 years or so. And we have been for a couple of years now been talking about, they're like, hey, we'll produce a song for you. And anyways, it was a matter of schedules and stars aligning, but we finally we came together and they produced this single for me. And so, yeah, it's me on acoustic guitar and singing, and Alex is singing the harmony parts, and she's amazing. She really makes the song. And it's called Nearsighted. And the plan is to do probably about maybe four more songs and have it and then do an EP release. So that's the plan. But yeah, it's hitting June 1st, which is from when we're taping. It's 2 days from now, this coming Wednesday. Yeah.
Well, we're live right now, Dangle. What do you think of that? We're streaming live. So if you're watching this on the YouTube or the Facebook or the Twitch,
panic attack.
Well, I think you can't you go to like one of those platforms and hit like a bell button or hit something that's like a reminder that the song lands in your inbox, or you get a notification whenever that thing hits? Don't the kids do that these days?
I'm not sure.
Look at you.
I'm with it.
Why don't you go check and come back and let us know? But yes, Daniel has a single hitting this week.
Yeah.
You know what? That's just the way it works. I just ordered all of the T-shirts for our San Diego Comic-Con booth about an hour ago.
Yeah.
So that's going down.
You didn't wait till June. It's May 30th. You know? So there you go.
I was insistent that we do not wait until June, that we order the shirts in May.
Yes.
Because this is what happens every year. And this year is kind of weird too, because it feels like San Diego Comic-Con's coming up out of they're kind of like shaking off the rust of not being around for the last 2 years. But I definitely have some rust getting back in the Comic-Con mode. Yeah. And so I said, you know what? We cannot pull up to the convention center with like the T-shirts we picked up from the printer on the way to San Diego, because it just turns into a mess because you're doing inventory while you're doing all the Comic-Con build and all that stuff. So look for those brand new shirts at Comic-Con this year, and they're going to be up on the Geekscape store. We're also designing a brand new site. We're doing a lot of stuff that we're going to announce soon. We're doing some great stuff with the network. There's a lot going on with Geekscape, and it's all I can do to stay on top of it, much less make a song. Like, you got a song coming out. So dude, that's how we are. We just keep creating, which is awesome.
That's right.
We'll play the song a little later. So Geekscape, if you want to hang out, and you got that song coming up, so you can look forward to that and be like, damn, what is Dangle Corey not good at? What are you not good at?
Oh, so many things, but what am I not good at? I don't know, staying organized sometimes, keeping the apartment clean, stuff like that. There's so many things that I'm not good at. I'm not good at math.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to do some math today when I did the inventory.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you subtract that, carry the one over there. It's just simple math, but I
Hmm.
had to figure out how much we're selling these shirts for, how much we're buying them
Yeah.
for, and the merchandise stuff. I get bad at it, but you know what? We
Yeah.
inventorized everything that we're bringing to Comic Con, and we're going to be ready for you. And as Matt Kelly says, Geekscape cannot be stopped. That's
Hey,
right.
Matt. All right.
We're doing Geekscape Forever shirts. That's what you're going to get at the booth this summer. They just say
Nice.
Geekscape Forever, because what else we got to do?
Let's hope. Let us
Yeah, I
hope.
mean, speaking of things that have hung around a long
Yeah.
time, we went to see this Top Gun movie, Top Gun
Hmm.
Maverick.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Did we really ever think that we were going to get this movie? It had been talked about for a long time. I know that
Mhm.
Justin Marks had a script. He's credited with some of the story. There's a lot of different writers on this thing. There's a
Mhm.
story by credit for the original writers.
Oh,
And
okay.
and then I feel like this has just been through several iterations. They shot this
Yeah.
thing, I think, pre-pandemic, and
Mhm.
it was supposed they were looking for release windows in the pandemic. That didn't happen. And
Yeah.
then it just felt like we've been watching trailers to Top Gun Maverick for the last year and a half. I feel like I've watched the first trailer for Top Gun Maverick before the pandemic happened, and
Oh, really? I
then
didn't catch it
it
back
shifted
then.
everything.
I didn't know it had been around like that.
I could
Oh.
be nuts. That's just
No,
I feel
you're
like I've
probably
been
right.
watching
That sounds like
this
something that would
trailer.
happen for sure. Yeah.
I just feel like we've been watching this trailer for a long time, and then
Yes.
finally we looked up and it was like coming out in a week. Oh,
Yeah.
and not only was it coming out in a week, you started hearing how good it was.
Mhm.
And everybody I talked to said that Top Gun Maverick was really, really good, and
Mhm.
that it was the movie to see, because I wasn't going to go opening weekend. I was like, yeah, I love the first Top Gun movie as a classic Hollywood kind of 80s film.
Mhm.
Sure. It's got all the
Yeah.
different tropes, and it built a lot of those tropes, right? Like the Tony
Yeah.
Scott movie had a lot of those kind of like, this we get a lot of those action
Yeah, like
stereotypes.
the machismo,
Mhm.
the clever taglines, all that, they were certainly, and, the Cold War mindsets and
Cool one-liners,
yeah.
and they've got
Mhm.
some great lines in it that there's a lot of callbacks. And
Mhm.
I got to tell you, Top Gun Maverick checks all the same boxes, but in a very fresh way.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
felt like it felt fresh and nostalgic at the same time. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, no, it did, because they like you said, I mean, they definitely did so much fan service. I'm not going to ruin anything
Mhm.
for anybody who hasn't seen it, 'cause this just came out, but there are a lot of callbacks, and so you'll be happy about that. That's the fun thing. If you go see it in a crowded theater on the weekend in the evening or something, you'll get people applauding. Like when I saw it the Chinese in Hollywood, and last Thursday, and there was a lot of applause and cheering, and people were waiting to see if some particular thing would happen, and when it did, they were so happy, and I wasn't as excited as them about a lot of that stuff, but I enjoyed their joy.
Oh
But
yeah, people were cheering for sure.
yeah.
And what you say, like, yes, it does satisfy the things that you think are going to happen, and
Hmm.
it did create the blueprint over 30 years ago of this type of movie, or at least it helped
Hmm.
it helped establish that blueprint of what
Hmm.
a Hollywood action movie should be.
Yeah.
But when it satisfies those things this time around, it's so satisfying. This
Yeah.
movie is so satisfying, and you
Yeah.
want to pump your fists. You're super invested in it, and it
Yeah.
was good seeing these characters 35 years later.
Yeah.
Um, it does it feel like there's another Top Gun movie in the future? I don't know if I was as invested in the new characters, like the new generation of pilots,
Right. I
as I
feel like
was
this
in
should
Tom
be it.
Cruise. But
I think this should be the bookend. I would hope if they do another cash grab and do another one, they'll do that. But
mhm,
this would be, I would say this is legit. This is a legit bookend.
mhm.
And like we were saying, they answered a lot of things from before, a lot of callbacks, but I feel like things were a little more up to date. As far as attitudes and stuff, there's still like a machismo, but kind of like the really macho guy in that squad is portrayed. He's the jerk. You know what I mean?
Sure. And there's
Everybody's
a
kind of
lot
mellowed out.
of you kind of root for the sensitive members of the squad.
Oh, absolutely do.
And there is a
Yeah.
female pilot, and I feel like
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly didn't want to, as the female love interest,
Hmm.
I felt it was realistic that she was the age of Tom Cruise's character.
Yeah,
And
bravo.
yeah,
You know?
and that she was age appropriate. She had responsibilities and a life of her own. She had lived a life, and
Yeah.
she was going to demand respect out of this fly
Yes.
boy who sometimes
They had
doesn't meet his
history,
commitments.
and it wasn't
Yeah.
just like she met him and immediately fell for him kind of a thing. And they did that in the original movie, and the whole movie, the original movie really hinged upon that. The original movie really only hinged around that love story. And I mean, Kelly McGillis, I thought was very good. She had gravitas, and was a strong presence. I mean, she's smarter than everybody in the room, but they did bake in this thing where she cannot help falling in love with this guy. It was much more back then type of thinking. Now it's like there are reversals. There's a lot of small visual and psychological reversals in this movie where Jennifer Connelly definitely is ahead of the game on him in most of the ways. I don't want to ruin anything, but particularly at the end, there's a shot where it's like that would have been him in the original movie, but they're putting her in that shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's wearing the pants this time around, Maverick.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
the relationship too, and Geekscape is, we don't want to spoil the movie, but Miles Teller plays Goose's son. You're going to know that very early on.
Yeah, it's in the trailer. Yeah.
When you have Maverick returning into, he has to enter back into this kid's life. And they've had a complicated history, you learn. And he almost has to adopt this kid while keeping him out of harm's way, but putting him in a jet to be on these dangerous missions. And the mission in this movie is very dangerous. You're going to have to put him in harm's way, and he has to wrestle with that because he's still dealing with the ghost of Goose's death in the first movie, and that has haunted him for 35 years. And I thought that was a really cool place to start, and to also use as a reason why Maverick hasn't exceeded the rank of captain, why he has not become a politician, why he has not become one of the heads of the Navy. He is still stuck in this Arrested Development based on this grief he's felt. So that, I definitely dug it. I thought it was a really well written movie, and Joe Kosinski, I don't think he's made a movie I wasn't impressed by. I didn't love the Tron Legacy, but it was incredible. I think Oblivion's an absolutely overlooked movie. So he's a director that every time he makes a movie, I know everybody talk about the Christopher Nolan, and deservedly so. They talk about Christopher Nolan and these other directors. Matt Reeves doing some really impressive work. I would say Joe Kosinski is in that.
Oh, sure.
Range, for sure.
He could definitely deliver
really impressive stuff.
Yeah, he delivers the big epic thing. He's just, not everybody can do that. And I'm a fan of his. Like I was a big fan of Tron Legacy, and I liked Oblivion too. Like you said, it's kind of forgotten, but it was a really, really nice movie,
It's a cool sci-fi movie with some cool twists.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one was like, it's like you say, it was well written because it checked all the boxes as far as Top Gun is about relationships. It's about the friendships. It's about the love interest. This time we're concentrating more on friendship than we are on the love interest part, and it's more about it's kind of more about father-son thing with him and Miles Teller, so maybe it's a brotherhood or something like that kind of. But in the middle of all that, really, there's this through line of action movie. It's almost like a Mission Impossible movie. Actually, it's Star Wars. Yeah. We got to fly through this trench and hit this small target, blow up this entire base. How are we going to do that? I was like, I think I've seen this before. But it's as if this whole movie is the third act of A New Hope. But that was not present. I mean, that wasn't the thing in the original movie. The original movie was a love story about these guys training in school. It's like more of a coming of age story, and they tag on an action scene at the end. Oh, wait, you just graduated from the academy, and guess what? There's some MiGs flying out of the ocean. You got to go check on.
To not spoil anything, this movie does all build towards a major action sequence at the end of this movie, and it is training. It is Top Gun is training very much for that action sequence. Brent Kotner says, you know what? It was great for the theater.
Absolutely.
Especially if one can see it in Dolby Vision with Atmos. This dude do you work for Dolby? What's going on here with this guy doing the plug for Dolby Vision with Atmos? I saw, come on now. Come on. Watch it in the cockpit of a plane if you can. That's how you got to see this movie.
Yeah, I saw it in I saw it the Chinese in Hollywood. Like I said, they have the laser IMAX. Like for me personally, that's the best projection I've ever seen in my life is at the Chinese in Hollywood. We got a lot of wonderful theaters around here in LA that have wonderful projection and everything, but I think that the Chinese, the IMAX screen there, you just can't beat it. So I was happy to see it in there. It was I saw it with my friends Renee and Julie. Renee, I think you met Renee Ruiz, my friend. Yeah, you've met Renee. He's hung out with us a lot. He's the singer. He's an a cappella vocalist, and he's been around at Comic-Con with me and stuff, and we've hung out with him. But he's the instigator in our group that gets the tickets and gets everybody together. So just shout out to Renee and Julie. They're both wonderful, talented singers.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
You know what? Daniel, you're just gonna have to bring them back by the booth. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
The
It's been a
pandemic
couple
wiped
years.
out
Pandemic
everything.
did wipe out a lot of things. Yes.
I'm a newborn. You went to see the new Alex Garland movie.
Yeah, I just came back from it. Actually, I mean, we arrived in the apartment an hour ago, and and the movie. So the movie is called Men. For anybody who doesn't know,
It's an A24 film.
it is. It is very A24. Yeah, very.
Because I love his movies. I think
absolutely.
the one that he did about AI was awesome.
Yeah, Ex Machina.
Ex
I've watched
Machina.
that so many times. So many
And
times
then
I've watched it.
The Natalie Portman one
Annihilation,
was really cool.
So good. So
about like
good.
that weird terraforming area from a meteor landing or this and that. Like that was awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
So I was stoked that he was going to make another movie, and then I see the trailer, and it feels like that A24 random horror psychological stuff that hasn't really worked for me. I'm sure if Geekscapists are into that stuff, like Hereditary and this and that, they might be into that. But
yeah, he's doing something different. You know, it's a horror movie. It's psychological horror for sure. That's how I would describe it. And so you haven't had a chance to see it.
I don't know if I will, Daniel.
Okay,
those movies don't really hit the same for me. But I mean, if you're a listener like Horror Movie Night and that crowd over here on the Geekscape Network, that might be more up your alley. I bet the boys over at Horror Movie Night will talk about it and be into that. But it's too squishy. I'll be watching Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers for the 18th time.
Oh, I got you.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of horror movies either. I dabble here and there, and it's mostly if I do watch a horror movie, it's going to be an A24. It's going to be something that's a little more high, a little more elevated, a little more artsy, and that's what this was. You know, it's a more elevated horror movie. And I can't. I think I've watched the original Halloween. That is the only slasher movie I've ever sat all the way through. You know, so that's the only. I've never watched a Friday the 13th. I have never watched Nightmare on Elm Street. So yeah, if I'm going to watch a horror movie, it's only pretty much artsy, psychological horror, or like the ones with oh my gosh, the Patrick Wilson, the Conjuring.
Yeah.
I watched those. Some of the demonic horror stuff is good, but I can only watch it a little bit here and there. Here I am clutching my cross, but I can only watch it some because it scares me so much. But the Conjuring movies I really liked because it's about this couple of Christians going around kicking demons' ass, you know. So,
so your religion, your belief is what keeps you from a lot of those films. It's too much into the satanic or too much into the occult, or where do you draw the line? Because it feels to me like the Conjuring stuff would be the closest to some level of
right. Well, I don't stay away from it because it offends me. I stay away from it because I think it's scary.
Oh, okay.
But the Conjuring scared the crap out of me. Those movies were so scary, but I loved them, you know, because I was a real big fan of them because of the way they just presented the heroes, you know. But then, you know, it just depends. I didn't watch Hereditary just because a friend went and saw it and he was like, this one might freak you out a little too much, you know. So but yeah, so some of the demonic horror stuff is good. Most of it is too scary. Psychological horror is good sometimes in doses. Slasher stuff I have no interest in. So so not a huge horror guy, but this one was. I mean, it was interesting. If you like, it's really bloody, really gory. So there's that, and it's psychologically crazy, and you're going to be like, what? I can't talk about it too much because it's just so weird. it's hard to describe, and you just have to go experience it if you want. But just only go if you really like horror movies in general, and if you really are okay with a lot of gore. But it has a good, I think, an overall decent statement to make, you know, about whatever it's going to. I don't want to say what it's about, but yeah.
Let's see. Matt Kelly says Jonathan only likes horror movies that involve an enchilada-based emergency. That is very true. One of my top horror
Enchilada.
films
involves
a guy running into a porta potty because the enchiladas he ate are upsetting his stomach. You were talking about Friday 13th Part 5. Come on, horror. Hey, you could. That's a trivia. You could have answered that one. That was easy. Come on, Daniel. You're going to come over.
Friday 13th,
you're going to come over, and we're going to watch Friday 13th Part 5, where the guy runs into the porta potty where Jason kills him. Spoilers.
That would be
Jason
fine.
He kills him in a porta potty. There's a little bit of a comic book sense to that. Speaking of like comic book horror and slashers, this weekend saw the return of Stranger Things. I'm going to talk about the season 4 of Stranger Things, of which I've seen some of. I've seen the first 4 episodes of. They're long episodes, and I'm going to say it in a non-spoiler way. But at the end of season 3, like, you had the whole crew kind of disperse, where like 11 had lost her powers, and
like Sheriff went off into another dimension, right? Or
no, well, the sheriff you thought got atomized, and then there's a stinger that he ends up in Russia, and they pick up. So right now in Stranger Things season 4, they're kind of like all separated, but the Mind Slayer, which is the villain that's behind everything, the kind of like melted face Freddy Krueger looking thing that's in the Upside Down, he is starting to kill kids again, and there's a mystery to it, and this thing is going to lead the crew to start getting back together, even though they are like in different states at this point. And like what you're talking about is the sheriff's like on the other side of the planet. He is in Russia, and so there's a whole storyline of him in Russia, and Winona Ryder's character's got to go find a way to like reconnect with them and find. First off, she has to find out that he's still alive. So there's a lot of time spent with everybody coming back together. I got to tell you, it made it feel to me, having only seen the first 4 episodes of this, just in general, it feels to me like the new characters, like Eddie owns it. Eddie doesn't need a lot of story to get his narrative going, whereas with the characters that were established in the prior 3 seasons that we're catching up again with, you're reestablishing kind of where they've been, where they are in relation to each other, and then getting their engines kind of going is taking a little bit of time for me. I felt like the established characters are at a disadvantage narratively to the new characters who for me were really working right off the bat. So it's been fun. It's been fun to watch the new characters. Eddie is the MVP. He's the kind of like kid who listens to metal and is like the dungeon master. And so that he's a fun character. He's like the long-haired metalhead at the school who you buy your drugs from. And I think he's MVP of the season so far for me. I will definitely be watching all the episodes. It's really well done horror. It is starting to remind me a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street. So the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff of like having another world, like where Freddy can get you in your nightmares and your dreams. And then what's happening with the Upside Down and how the Mind Slayer can kind of access you through visions. It's feeling very Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what? I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street was my jam. So I'm enjoying those visuals. I feel like the Duffer Brothers should be involved in any Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And
that's got to happen at some point, I would think.
Matt Kelly, who is our horror aficionado here on the Geekscape Network, he runs the horror movie podcast, Horror Movie Night. He says, just one episode in, I was floored with how horror based this season is right out of the gate. It's horrific right out of the gate. So if you're squeamish, be ready. It's funny, one of the major new characters of the season is played by our friend Casper Van Dien's daughter, Grace.
Oh, wonderful.
She plays a cheerleader in this season, and Heidi and I are sitting there watching that first season. We're like, why does she look familiar? This actress looks so familiar. it's Casper's daughter. Oh, we've met her. We've been over at the house for.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. Oh,
Oh,
nice.
I,
Yeah.
I hope things go well for her.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. I know. I have friends on when they come on the shows and movies or whatever that have violence in them. I'm like, oh, please don't die. Please don't die. I don't want to watch that. You
I
know.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Please help us out. So Stranger
Yeah.
Things season 4 is off and running, and it's kind of what a lot of people are talking about right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching. I just hadn't had a chance to start yet. But Stranger Things brought me in just because in the very beginning, from the very like first like 10-minute sequence of it, it felt like a little bit like there was a touch of like Close Encounters. And
Hmm.
then when it was Will is the little boy is taken, you know. So I mean, there's enough sci-fi in it, and it's definitely sci-fi horror. But like this, there's enough sci-fi in it that brings me in, you know. And if they're going to amp up the horror, it's not going to bother me. I'm already I'm already into it, you know.
Yeah.
So and you know,
Well,
creature. We had that huge creature fight at the end of last season. You know,
that
that's
freaking kaiju in the mall. That was awesome.
yeah, right. You know, and I mean, that's horror and sci-fi. You know, that's fun. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm into it. I think that the craft is really impressive.
Mhm.
I would like things to pick up a little bit more,
Yeah,
just
I thought they
personally.
had a slow start last season. Like I felt the first episode of season 3 was a lot too much fan service, like the kids kind of getting together and saying their quirky little line that they say and blah blah blah. And then
There's
like it
not
took
as
like
much of
3
that here.
episodes. Okay, that's good.
There's not as
Yeah.
much of this here, but as
Yeah.
far as the story rolling,
Uh-huh.
it's like, come on, Scooby Gang, let's get this together. Come on. It does feel like the
Yeah.
Scooby Gang, and in disparate parts of the country. Like you
Mhm.
don't have them all together.
Yeah.
Uh, and you're just waiting for that moment where everybody's together and they're
Mhm.
ready to kick some ass and find out like how to put
Yeah.
this thing away once and for all. Because I'm guessing this season 4 or season 5 s- split
Yeah,
is that's
the
it.
second so this is the end of Stranger Things this season, right? Am I right?
Well, it's these 7 episodes of
Yeah.
all sorts of lengths. Like some of these episodes are almost 2 hours long, and
Right, yeah.
then I think you get season 5 or season 4.5, whatever they're calling it. I think you're getting that in July,
And then
and then
that's gonna
so
be
by
the
the end of
end?
summer, by the end of summer,
Yeah.
you'll have been Stranger Thinged. Yes,
Okay, so
you'll be done.
that will be the entire story. They'll be done.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're saying they're introducing new characters though. Who there's probably going to be spinoffs or something if it stays as huge as it is, you know.
If Netflix can afford it, we're down.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I always think
Netflix is starting to compete with like the rest of the kids on the block now. There's all these
Mhm.
streamers, and Netflix is like, oh, what's going on
Yeah,
here? We're gonna have to
yeah.
start keeping people from sharing like passwords. Like, oh, we got to tighten our
Right.
belts.
Yes.
Yeah, some of that learning curve has been coming in the form of Disney Plus. They got that new Obi-Wan Kenobi show on. The first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi are up as
Mhm.
of the recording of this one. And I got to tell you, I've seen them, and we're going to do a little bit of non-spoiler Obi-Wan Kenobi talk. So if you haven't
All
seen the
right.
first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, this takes place, I would say the twins, Luke and Leia, are like 10 at this
Okay.
point. So that's about as far removed as they are from the prequels.
Mhm.
And you get a lot of prequel catch up at the beginning of this.
Mhm.
So you've watched the whole what is it, Revenge of the Sith,
Mhm.
episode 3. You get the first 5 minutes of the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi is like previously on, and it is a super cut of the prequels. You get Anakin, you get Qui-Gon, you get Qui-Gon's death, you get the Padme Anakin relationship, you get Order 66 and all that stuff coming together. And it really plays an aggressive catch up. What it doesn't do though, and I thought this was weird because
Mhm.
this is where we really should be catching up with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It doesn't do any Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. So if we're
Mhm.
gonna have like these people hunting Obi-Wan Kenobi, in which is kind of what's happening in this season, is
Yeah.
these Inquisitors are hunting down the Jedi. Like Order 66 is where we kind of have the rise of the Empire,
Mhm.
and you have all the Jedi being exterminated. You see
Mhm.
the younglings and all that, and there's a scene that kind of hit wrong after Uvalde, the shooting, the real world shooting here
Oh, no.
in
Yeah.
Uvalde. Watching this episode 2 days later, and seeing a bunch of younglings in Order 66 in like the opening moments of the show, that felt kind of awkward. I know that Netflix added a warning before Stranger Things season 4, directly calling out the Uvalde shootings and saying, "Hey, like, sorry about this. There's some images that might be a little too hardcore." And Stranger Things season 4 does have some pretty hardcore images of kids, that are they go through a rough patch.
Yeah,
they don't come out of the rough patch, these kids in Stranger
Yeah.
Things season 4 and some of these flashbacks. We get the same thing with Order 66. You do see like younglings in the Jedi Temple getting hunted by stormtroopers, and you're like, holy crap, this is hitting way different the week of the mass shooting in Uvalde. And then of course you jump forward 10 years and you catch up on Tatooine with this hermit out in the deserts of Tatooine, and what we're going on there. I will tell you, without telling too much of the story, this Tatooine feels more populated than the one in Boba Fett. This is a more, it sounds silly because it's sci-fi, a different planet. This sounds like a more this looks and feels like a more believable Tatooine. In Boba Fett, everything
it was pretty sparse.
It felt sparse. It didn't really feel believable or populated, or like all the characters there had their own narratives. This Tatooine and Obi-Wan Kenobi feels populated. It feels real. It feels like the Obi-Wan. It feels like the Mos Eisley from Episode 4. That's the Tatooine. It feels like that really helps. That makes you feel like you're watching some Star Wars. It's the used universe that you got used to in the original trilogy. It's the used universe that The Mandalorian did really well, where it felt like every character on screen had their own storyline. Where it goes from there, have fun. I have some reservations, but I'm going to hold those out for the full 6 episodes when we do the catch up with Ian. I'm going to enjoy them. It's Star Wars, and it's well done Star Wars, so I'm excited about it. I am worried that some of the narrative is starting to feel familiar to some of the other Disney Plus stuff that we've seen. So I'll wait. It might just be the first 2 episodes, but we'll see what happens over the course of the 6.
I've seen Mando and Boba Fett, but I haven't had a chance to watch this one yet. But I'm definitely going to. Yeah, for sure.
Every time Ewan McGregor's not on screen, or Jimmy Smits, he's the man. It feels like it lulls a little bit. These actors are just so good that Ewan McGregor is just so good at this. And you just gotta watch it. I don't want to spoil it here. I don't want to spoil the Obi-Wan.
All right.
But I will tell you one spoiler.
Okay.
Jonathan's favorite character is a Jawa.
Okay.
And you'll know it. And you'll know why.
All right.
I like those characters who are little jerks and they run around
stealing stuff.
I like the Jawas who are little jerks. And, and you definitely get a jerk Jawa in the first episode of this one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm into it. Let's see what is going on. Because Star Wars had their celebration this weekend in Anaheim. Did you go to the Star Wars celebration?
I could. No, I did not. It would have been nice. But I actually, because it just started happening. I'm like, oh, Star Wars celebration is happening. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I mean, can anybody get tickets, or is it an invite only, or you have to know somebody? Blah, 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 what is it?
I think it's a Comic-Con. I went once.
Okay.
I'll tell you. And this isn't going to be a popular opinion with our friend Big Yanks, who, according to Big Yanks, Disney can do no wrong. They could have done. They could have done the Encyclopedia Britannica series of Boba Fett, and he would have been like, "This is the greatest science fiction series of all time," right? Which Book of Boba Fett was. I don't know if I wanted an Encyclopedia Britannica series of that, but he would have loved it. Okay, this is a kid who's like on eBay looking for Grogu Pez dispensers at the moment. Okay. Star Wars can do no wrong for him. I went down to Star Wars Celebration a few years ago, and this is what happens. I get there at 10 o'clock. I get the parking. I walk over. Maybe I get there at 9, whatever I got there. And by the time I get the badge and I go through the line and all this stuff, it's probably 11 o'clock. I'm on my car headed home by 1 o'clock, including having gotten lunch. Like, it's a lot of Star Wars, man. If you don't like Star Wars, do not go to Star Wars Celebration. If you love Star Wars, if you got midichlorians pumping through your veins hardcore, you you love Star Wars Celebration, that is the
Mhm.
place for you. It is your favorite place on the planet. They had some really cool stuff going on there this weekend. I just know that when I went, it was like ODing on Star Wars. I was
Okay.
out in 2 hours.
Mhm.
I was tapped out in my car looking for a place to pick up lunch on the way back to LA because it wore me out in 2 hours. Lots of Star
Wow.
Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
But I got to
Yeah.
tell you, the good news is if you're into Star Wars, you love it. They announced a
Yeah.
couple cool things. Bad Batch season 2 is coming. That's the
Okay.
animated show on Disney Plus. That also picks up where the Clone Wars and Rebels ended. That's
Mhm.
cool. There's a new movie or a new series on Disney Plus we don't know a whole lot about. It's got to be live action because it has Jude Law in it. It's called Skeleton Crew. John Watts of the Spider-Man trilogy is
Mhm.
directing. So the
Cool.
Spider-Man Home trilogy, which we'll say,
Yeah.
he's directing. So I guess he left Fantastic Four to walk across the lot and do the Skeleton Crew series. There's a lot of news about Mandalorian season 3. I think we're going to get it early 2023.
Okay.
Star Wars Visions, which was like a cool kind of anime Eastern influenced version of a lot of Star Wars short stories, that
Mhm.
got announced for as a season 2.
Okay.
That's really cool. Jedi Tales, is it Jedi Tales or is it Tales of the Jedi? This is
I
a
don't know.
prequel era kind of Tales series
Okay.
that tells different stories, and I think there is a Jar Jar story that's going to be in it.
Mm.
And on the video game side, there, if you're a fan of the Fallen Order video game,
Mhm.
which is like the Fallen Order game, kind of felt like Tomb Raider or one of these like third person uh kind of cinematic games, and Star Wars Survivor is the sequel to Fallen Order, so that'll be good, and it has the same characters in it. So fans of Star Wars have tons to be a part of. I'm just like, for me, I'll just take this Disney Plus stuff. I'll take the movies. I don't know if I'll do the
Mhm.
video games unless they're awesome. I heard the new Lego Skywalker saga is awesome, but there's
Yeah.
just so much content, Daniel.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
how
too
do you
much.
do it? There's too much content.
Yeah, and I know. I actually haven't watched the animated stuff, but I've watched, obviously the movies, obviously, but then and the live action shows. But I'm not
Mhm.
knowledgeable about the animated shows. Now, one thing, there was an announcement where I think Kathleen Kennedy said all future movies are going to take place in the sequel era. And I don't know what that means. Does that mean post episode 9, post Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, the sequel era is that trilogy that JJ was
The final
the head
trilogy.
of.
Okay,
Mhm.
so okay, does that mean it's going to take place during those movies or after? Probably during, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, because like I saw one article about it. Didn't really explain it very yeah. But anyways, so that's That's interesting news, I suppose. I know they say they're leaving Skywalker behind. They're done with Skywalker.
I think that's
So
a good move.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's a good move. That's been
yeah.
saturated. But I also, if they made a Tales of the Jedi series that took place 1,000 years before the Empire rose to
Mhm.
power, I would be into it. I thought the things that got me into comic books were those Dark Horse, you know, Star
The
Wars
Star Wars
comics.
ones, yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
the whole New Empire stuff, the Tales of the Jedi series, all of those comic books uh they obviously the Timothy Zahn books that were being
Hmm.
published. Those 3 Timothy Zahn books were awesome, but the Dark Empire stuff that came out from Dark Horse was, to me, like really major in my reintroduction to not just comic books but to Star
Hmm.
Wars.
Hmm.
And so if they did a Tales of the Jedi series, I would be pretty hyped for that, or a Tales of the Jedi movie that took place, you know, a
Hmm.
1,000 years before we even heard of a Skywalker. I'd be into that. I just think diversity is we want in a Star Wars universe. It doesn't. I don't think the timeline matters. I think what matters is, are these new characters? Is this a
Hmm.
new corner of the universe that's not Tatooine? Are these new
Yeah.
creators? I think it's cool that Deb Chow is
Hmm.
doing Obi-Wan Kenobi. Narratively, some of that stuff feels familiar, and
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, you have to walk a fine line with Kenobi because you know where he ends, you know where he begins. You have to kind of stay within those parameters,
Right.
and he is observing and protecting Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. So there's only so much you can bend that character before it just doesn't make sense with the story that we know.
Yeah.
So they have to stay within the parameters. That being said, I do want that diversity. Let's have alien leads. I look forward to the Andor show that we're going to get towards the end of summer.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, no, I love Rogue One. So yeah,
and I love Diego
cool.
Luna.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm looking for that. Did you know that it was like 9 episodes or 12 episodes or something insane like that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you'll be watching that stuff through Thanksgiving, pal. I hope you're having fun with that.
Oh goodness, so
listen,
much. There's so much content.
Big Yanks is so excited right now because we get the Miss Marvel show in a week or two. I think we get the Miss Marvel show on June 8th.
Okay.
And that is the new Marvel series with like the young Miss Marvel who has powers that I think will end up semi-linked to Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and that we know from.
They got to be on screen together at some point, I would think.
Well, they're in a movie called The Marvels, which is the sequel to Captain Marvel is called The Marvels.
So she's graduating from the show to the Marvels movie. Okay,
she's going to join up with her and I think Photon, who you saw in WandaVision. Remember when WandaVision?
Photon. Yeah, I saw that.
And she got the powers. There was the cop investigating the town.
Mm-hmm. That slipped my mind. I don't know. I don't remember that.
Well, she got powers at the end of the series, and you're going to end up seeing her as probably Photon or whatever she is in the comics. Okay. She was Captain Marvel for a while. You're going to end up with that. Monica Rambeau.
Okay. Monica Rambeau. I remember her. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So
she's Photon.
Oh, Matt just added 3 podcasts to the network. That's the podcast signal.
Uh-oh.
Good luck, Matt. That siren means that 3 more podcasts got added to the network. Matt is on a tear. So we're gonna have 3 Marvel characters in the new Marvels movie. We got Carol Danvers.
That's like an awesome team up. There's 3 of them. Awesome. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's gonna be some scroll action in there. They're gonna be in space. Gotta keep those scrolls in check.
Yes.
Because you're leading into like Secret Invasion, which is like the announced Disney Plus show where scrolls have replaced some of the Marvel universe.
Oh, that's going to be a series. Okay, I knew they were doing that. I assumed it was going to be a series. Okay, all right.
Ian Kerner, we need you back up here because
I enjoyed that comic. The miniseries back. That's cool, right? Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Daniel, it's really hard to keep track of all of this stuff.
Yes, it is.
It's coming at us. The frequency is just coming at us. I don't know how you squeeze a song out of this. I don't know how you did it. Daniel's got this new song called Nearsighted. It hits Spotify and all the different places you can find music online. This Wednesday, June 1st.
June 1st.
Listen to Nearsighted. You want to Google Daniel Corey Nearsighted, and that's what you want to listen to, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, I think we should play a little bit of the song for the audience. What do you think?
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
I have the MP3 loaded up here. Let me just see what we got here. Let me just figure out how to do this. All right, Geekscape is hang tight. Here's a little bit of Daniel's song Nearsighted. I hope you enjoy it. Here it goes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's Alex did that part. Yeah,
is this,
hear that? Yeah, that's Alex right there. Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't even come in yet. This is all Alex.
This is the song?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
No, that's stop. No. Sounds like Matt Kelly in the middle of the night at Comic-Con.
Alex is really going to approve of this. She is going to be 100% on board. Yeah.
This is the song. Yeah. This is excellent.
Yeah. Dennis is moving the sliders like this is beautiful. Right?
All right. Stop.
What is wrong with you?
That is not the song. My apologies. I don't know why I hit the wrong button. I'm really sorry. That is not.
That wasn't planned. That was not.
No,
planned.
That was not your song.
Yeah.
I googled Nearsighted Daniel Corey, and that is what came out.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
You have you and your bowels to blame for that one, Daniel. I'm just kidding. Geekscape.
It's actually a real song. It's just not out yet. In 2 days.
You have to keep digesting, and it'll come out.
Song.
The real song is called Nearsighted, Geekscape. Sorry, just wipe the lunacy of this off the mat. Just ignore it. Daniel Corey has a real song. we're going to play a little bit of the music video right here. I'm not going to play the whole song. For that, you're going to have to stay tuned to June 1st and find it on Spotify or wherever you get your music online. But here's the music video for Nearsighted.
Slowing down, don't go moving around. Don't you reach too far, stay right where you are. Knowing all the things I'm told, the sight of failure's getting old. Don't you speak to me, don't be so absurd. I'm just thinking back, remembering all your words. I'm just thinking about this year. Built around my fear. Race keeps falling off my back. Slip, slip, sliding through the cracks. The meaning of it all is going slack. I sometimes wonder what you think I'm going through. Nearsighted and I'm blinded at the sight of you. Don't you feel too proud? Don't you scream?
All right. Sorry for the abrupt. I don't really know how StreamYard
That's
does.
all right. Yeah, it's all good.
We can't play the whole song. They got to download the whole song.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for playing it. It was. That's the first time anybody's seen it. Really.
Are you serious?
It. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is a Geekscape original debut. It might have been an original debut for the other song too, but we don't know that for sure.
We're not sure who the artist is on that even.
Are you kicking a falsetto on that? Like, what's going on with y'all on that one? I mean, like I don't know anything about singing or music or notes or life.
Well, the backing vocals, that's Alex.
I know.
Alex Calise, yeah, singing the backing vocals there, yeah.
But I imagine when you're singing, I just know Dingle Corey's voice. It's not that high, is it? Or like I don't know, like
so you think my singing voice sounds a little different than my speaking voice?
It sounds like a higher.
Oh, okay.
Like register.
Well, I mean, I'm naturally like a baritone, but then with a little vocal training, I learned how to utilize the tenor range of my voice, and I guess that's probably what you're registering there. But
because I do not know what I'm talking about too.
No, you're right. No, you bring up a good point. I mean, I'm this song I'm singing in the upper range, on the upper part of my voice, my vocal range here. Yeah. And it had a lot to do with just I had a lot of inspirations that came about when I wrote this song. And I went to see a live show some friends put on, and a couple of the guitarists, they played so beautifully. They played like this, they played a melodic line as they accompanied themselves on guitar, and then they sang like they're playing counter melody. And I'm like, I want to write a song where I play a counter melody and then I sing the melody over that, because I'll have plenty of songs where I just kind of pick or strum normally, as a lot of guitarists do. But then I'm like, I want to always strive for creativity in my music creation. So, I was listening to Fruit Bats, and when I turned it off, and I was like, I'm going to write this song now. And and he's got a very a good tenor range. He's a real tenor, unlike me. And anyways, all that to say, I came up with a really good melodic line to accompany myself on the guitar, and so I was stuck with a certain vocal range based on what I had written in the music. Mm-hmm. So I went with that, and that was the result. Was I was kind of in a higher range there, and then Yeah. So, and then Alex joins in on the chorus. And like I said, she really makes the song. And as we keep going, there's 3 choruses in the song. The harmonies build bigger and bigger. And then we have multiple guitar parts playing at the end. And it gets big and awesome, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's and also, my another one of my influences that really specifically for this song was like Paul Simon, and he's got a higher tenor range as well. So yeah, I was thinking I was on the Fruit Bats and Paul Simon side of my creative psyche when I wrote the song and made
channeling
it
that wavelength.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. And I wanted to get a lot of interesting visuals to go along with my music. And, so what I'm doing mainly right now is kind of like what you just heard is kind of like an acoustic Americana type of styling. But then usually when artists do that kind of music, when you look at their album covers, they're sitting by a stream, playing their acoustic guitar with the trees all around. And I don't want to do that. I don't even know that crazy about nature. I like cities and urban and I know
the pollen will kill you.
allergies. I have terrible allergies.
No.
But it's timely that this is the 40th anniversary of Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love Blade Runner, and I love futurism, and I love cyberpunk. And I'm like, I am going to go that way with the visuals because I want to deliver something, first of all, visually and the aesthetic that I like. Because I like Americana and I like futurism, and I'm not going to combine the two of them. And I'm going to deliver a visual that people aren't expecting when they hear that song, and then they go watch the lyric video that you showed. It's going to be a surprise. There's an irony and a kind of a tongue in cheek and a fun to it, I think. And I call it Cyber Americana. That's what I'm calling it.
Well, speaking of Blade Runner and the 40th anniversary, Vangelis just died.
Yeah, I know. Very sad. Absolutely. And that's a musician. That's a composer I listen to every day. So very, very, very sad for his loss. He was about 79, and they said he passed in a hospital in Paris. That's all I know. But my heart goes out to him and his family, and we're very, very thankful for the lifetime of music he gave us. And so for people who don't know, he composed the score to Blade Runner and also the Oscar-winning score of Chariots of Fire. So that iconic, those guys running on that beach in slow motion.
And it just sounds like it sounded like the beginning of computer music. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that would be like early electronic music that became very mainstream. So analog synthesizers.
You can't think of Chariots of Fire and not think of that song, and you definitely can't think of Blade Runner and not think about that score.
Yeah, I mean, both movies are not going to be the same movie with a different score.
No,
absolutely, yeah.
So, well, Daniel, maybe we do a second version of the song where we go completely electronic and give it a little bit of a Vangelis feel or a techno-ish.
Yeah, I'd actually with Dennis, producer who engineered it. Yeah, he's joked about maybe we should do an electronic remix, and when they saw the visuals with it, but we'll see. But this is
play with it.
Yeah, and now the animation was created by Lodge Productions, whom I found on Fiverr. And if you want a lyric video done, go to find Lodge Productions on Fiverr.
Are you kidding me? That looks really good.
Oh, it's amazing. Yes. And the thing that was really nice about him is that it was
$5.
It wasn't $5. It was not. Yeah. But communication was so clean and precise, and he understood everything that I wanted. I said I want something Blade Runner, and he got excited about that. And I gave him a bunch of my so the eyeballs and stuff you're seeing. That's my artwork. That's my photography.
But also,
my Map of the World project.
You sent that I a little bit of video. You sent a little bit of video. You sent some artist images, and they put the whole. The song's 4 minutes long. Like they put that whole thing together.
You put it together, and it took about 2 weeks.
Get out of here! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, wow. and so like the videos were taken by my good friend Karuna Tanahashi. The photos of me, the portrait photos are by Annabelle DeFlux. So I want to make sure everybody involved here gets credit. And Lodge Productions did the animation, and I created the Map of the World eyeball photos. But it was such a wonderful collaboration to have everything come together, and Lodge assembled it all in 2 weeks. And
where are they based out of?
Amazing. I think he's in Wales. I think that's what his profile says. Yeah. Wow. So But
We'll talk about that.
yeah, so so I'm coming right out of the gate. The whole thing ends up being it's music, it's an aesthetic, it's a feel, and a kind of to me a personal philosophy coming right out of the gate. I was very happy. So that's what collaboration can do for you. When you trust other people, and you have a
Yeah,
clear vision that you can communicate to them, and they're good at their jobs too. That this is
but
the kind of thing that can happen.
Dingle, you're nice though. I can't do that.
What?
You can do that because you're nice.
Oh,
Me?
okay.
In my way or the
No.
highway? No. I'm really hard to work with. No, I'm not. I'm making this up. Geekscape is the only reason.
He's nice. You're nice too.
Don't tell people. All right.
Mm-mm.
Don't put me on blast with that.
Mum's
nice
the
stuff.
word. Mum's the word.
Stop it. I want people to fear me in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shirt on talking about comics on the internet. Speaking of Geekscapists, and the good that we do around here, because that's just how we roll. Matt Kelly and the Horror Movie Night crew, who are now getting their third mention of the episode, are putting together a charity this weekend on the 4th. So you have your missions for this week. Wednesday the 1st, you're going to download Daniel's song and listen to the whole thing, because we're not going to spoil it here. And then on the 4th, if you're not doing anything on Saturday, the Horror Movie Night boys are taking over all of our socials. So if you're on our YouTube right now, or Facebook, or our Twitch, you're going to be able to watch those guys pretty much put themselves through a blender of like terrible horror movies, or the ones that push their minds to the limit. We should get you, Dangle, to sit in with them on it. And what's cool about it is it's going to be part of the Geekscape Gives initiative. Basically, what you're going to want to do is you pick whatever charity you want to donate to, and donate, and then take the receipt and send it to the Horror Movie Night boys, and you will be, I think, put in for a raffle or put in for prizes and freebies. But really, the fun of it is to see the Horror Movie Night crew live stream, watch some horrible horror movies along with the audience, and just have a good time. So if you're not doing anything on Saturday, hang out with the boys and do some good in the process. So Horror Movie Night taking over these channels this coming Saturday. Daniel, it's been amazing having you on Geekscape, dude. It's been amazing catching up.
It's been amazing being here. Thank you.
I love how prolific you are, dude. I love that you're an inspiration to me as far
as are you to me, sir.
Got to keep things moving. Matt Kelly's in the chat, and he says, you know what, we're going to be giving away posters, Blu-rays, t-shirts. It's an all-day party in Matt's basement live on YouTube. So the best place to catch all that really is youtube.com/Geekscape TV for the Horror Movie Night festivities. And we're working on a lot of stuff over here on Geekscape. So that's really just the beginning of it on our road to Comic-Con this summer. Daniel, will you be in San Diego Comic-Con? Oh, I think I lost your audio, Daniel, if you can match that. Cannot hear you, sir.
There we go.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Okay. That's okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be. I am going to be at the convention this coming weekend at Anaheim, which is it's the music convention. Yes. I'll be there. If anybody's going to be at NAMM and you spot me on the floor, come say hello, please. But I think I'm going to try to get down in July for probably at least maybe Saturday, Sunday. We'll see.
And if you are Geekscapists, the place to find them is the Geekscape booth 3919 on the floor.
When I get there, I have it memorized. I know right where you always are. Every year.
We are very prominent right there on the entrance.
And Sunday night,
Ballroom C.
Yeah, Sunday evening, right when the show's wrapping at 5, I happen to be like, "Hey guys, going to dinner?"
Yeah,
I always end up having a place to have friends to hang out with after the show.
We love waiting out the people leaving Comic-Con. This is what we do when Comic-Con closes doors on Sunday. We go have dinner. We come back. We wrap things up, and that's the way we're doing it again this year.
I tag along every year.
Wait for all of San Diego and Comic-Con to clear out and let us load up the booth and get it out of there. Well, dude, maybe we'll see each other then. Sorry, I'm missing the song premiere party this Wednesday.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll shout out to everybody online and make sure everybody gets to be involved in that. So just keep an eye on at the Danger Cat. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at the Danger Cat. So if you want to see more yeah, it's dropping June 1st on all of the streamers. Hopefully, if everything goes right, which it will.
It's
So,
going to be great. It's going to
yes.
be great, Daniel. And Geekscape is, you know how to catch up with us. Search Geekscape on all your socials. You'll find us. You'll be a part of it. The Geekscape Forever group on Facebook is a good place to go and hang your hat and talk to like-minded geeks, as well as the Geekscape page on Facebook. We've got everything from Twitter to the Instagrams, and I think the boys all have TikToks. Not quite me yet, but maybe. Heidi keeps asking me to do these Lizzo dance videos. I don't think that's,
I have not done it. I don't have any plans to do it. I'm new to TikTok, brand new, and I have no plans to do dancing videos. But you will see me play my guitar on there, and you'll see lots of eyeballs floating around as well.
Nobody wants to see a 43-year-old man doing Lizzo dances on TikTok. At least I don't.
That's what you're wrong about that. But yes.
Geekscapists, we're going to be right back here next week with a brand new Geekscape episode. We love you. As we like to say around here, go on and don't hate, create. All right. Peace.
Bye. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thank you, John.